Welcome to Otaku Brigade. I'm Gibby. This is my boy Freddy.
What up, what up?
And today we're going to go over Season 1 of Vinland Saga. One of the best animes I've seen. Just saw it last week. How long has it been since you've seen it?
Not too long. Probably like at the most a month and a half maybe.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I was, because I don't know about you, but I had been wanting to see it for a long time, and I saw like the first episode before,
Yeah.
but I never like stuck with it until like about that month ago where I actually went through and just like binged the whole thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was sleeping on it. So that's why I was dogging on you to can watch it, bro.
Thanks for cussing right away. Anyways,
It's alright.
so I had the same thing where like I had been told by not just you but other people to watch it.
Yeah.
But I have this like hater inside me that when too many people tell me to watch one thing, I don't watch it purposefully. That was a mistake.
Yeah, we were sleeping.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
I'm glad, but yeah, we're gonna go through it. What you say, episode by episode.
Yeah, just touch each episode, how we felt, what our thoughts were at the time.
Yeah, just like a nice little recap of it. See what we think of season 1, cause it's just an awesome show, bro. Like, what else can we say?
They'll probably do season 2 in probably like 3 weeks. We usually do them in between break weeks of One Piece. So, who knows? Maybe we get one episode and then a break. I might get this in 2 weeks.
True.
I might get this in a month. We'll see what Oda does.
True. All depends on One Piece. All right.
Alright, so episode 1 is Somewhere Not Here.
So.
Okay, yeah, I'll say it starts crazy because spoiler alert. So Thor dies later on, right?
Yeah, like we're recapping. So
Yeah, this is all spoiler.
You ain't
If you ain't seen it, get out of here.
don't watch this.
Don't
Come back
watch
later.
me.
Come back later.
Anyways, so at the beginning, he's like, I think it starts with him like touching the grass in like Vinland
Yeah, he's like in the
little field of wheat.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, this guy dead.
Yeah.
I already knew, and then it goes to like a battle. And I thought it was gonna start there, and then just threw me off, and we go like way further forward.
Yeah.
This kid, and he jumps in the ocean, cause I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah. And if y'all did peep it, and it took me like the second time on the rewatch to peep like the little foreshadowing of that arrow going into Thor's shoulder, and then because he kind of like not blacks out but gets like distracted.
Yeah.
In the middle of that fight, and he gets shot with the arrow. So if you know, you know.
But
yeah, we start off, we get introduced to him, and then we cut to, is it Iceland, right?
yeah, so we cut to Iceland.
Cut to a little village in Iceland. Do we have a name of the village?
I don't think so.
No, it's just,
Yeah, I don't think they ever named it.
yeah, because they don't have any kings over there. They're not, like, ruled by anything, so they're just out there, they're doing their thing, surviving off of just fish, and they got sheep.
Sheep.
Right? Yeah, sheep.
Yeah. So, yeah, just go to Iceland, meet Thorfinn, we meet Helga, Ilva, and Leif. And Leif tells, Thorfinn the place the place that he's been to before, Vinland.
Place far in the west. There's no war.
It's pretty sure it's supposed to be America.
Pretty sure, because I mean, in the anime it shows like Native Americans there.
Yeah.
And he has a little feather hat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is somewhere in North America.
And then, so we meet everybody. Leif tells them about it. And then it just ends, pretty much just the introductory episode. And then it ends with that slave.
Oh, yeah. That slave the runaway slave.
Yeah, the Thor's finds.
Yeah, from Hofton. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Hofton slave.
And then meets the slave. And then the guy eventually comes looking for him. I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah.
Oh, it says right here, Halfton.
Yeah. What was like, just off the first episode, what was your perception of like Thor's? Like who, because he's obviously like, he's portrayed as like a main character.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he's going to be like a main character.
Well, the only thing is, I knew that the main character was Thorfinn,
Yeah.
Just off clips I've seen.
Yeah.
And then off the beginning of seeing Thor's, I was like, this guy's gonna die.
Yeah.
Now, we'll get to how fast he dies.
Yeah.
But I thought he'd just be around for a while. Like, I thought he would teach... Because I'd only seen clips of Thorfinn grown.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him as a kid.
Yeah, I myself had never seen, like... I may have seen, like, a clip or so, but maybe it'd been, like, so far and few that... Between that never really, like...
Stuck out to you?
Yeah, like, I knew Thorfinn was the main character for sure, but I had no idea who Thor's was.
Yeah.
So, getting him introduced as the dad and then, like, this... To see him... Even just in the first episode, to see him go from in that battlefield, in the middle of that battlefield, is crazy. He's just, he's wrecking everything there.
Yeah.
And then to see him cut to like this little just calm village and no war zone and just chilling with his family. So it's like, I mean, you see him like dive into the ocean and swim away.
After you see him hop onto another boat.
Yeah.
And murk everybody on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought he'd be like the main character for a while.
Yeah.
So it's his slave, sees Halfdan, and then saves the slave. Paid 8 sheep for him. I remember that.
Oh yeah, because he started out with like Halfdan asked him how many, or Halfdan said he paid 3 sheep for him.
Yeah.
And then Thor's like, I gotta give you 4.
Yeah.
And Halfdan was like, what if I say to double it? And then he's like, bet. I was like, damn,
I want to
man.
give a schmeckle for that guy. I guess I'm not Thor's.
Yeah, it gives you a little sight into what kind of Thor's is at the current time as to what he was before. You get a little bit more backstory on him later on.
Yeah, and then the slave died.
Yeah.
So that was a waste of 8 sheep. And that was episode 1.
True. It's all the emergency food, bro.
It was a good episode, a good start.
Yeah.
It wasn't much action, it was all introduction.
Yeah.
But
then
this thing really picks up pace later on.
Yeah. So cut to episode 2. And this is all in the years. It's 1000 AD.
Yeah, 1002.
Yeah. So they're in, I think it starts off because they say that England attacked the Danes.
Yeah.
When the Danes were in England, they were like, were they just living there or were they just occupying it?
They were occupying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because they're still like a bit under control of the other king. And then they got like jumped.
Yeah, they hadn't like fully taken over yet.
Yeah. So they got jumped, which kind of forced was it King Sweyn at this point?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right,
we need to do a full attack.
yeah, we got to show them like iron fist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the strength. But,
So then this guy, Floki, finds Thor and tells him like King Sweyn has called for him to show up.
yeah. But let's see. So Floki is he's a general of the Yams Vikings.
Yeah.
Which is like a notorious Viking group.
It's like the elite group pretty much, right?
Yeah. It's like the Marines of the Vikings.
Which you kind of start seeing like who Thor used to be.
Yeah, when they bowed to him.
Yeah.
Stuff, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. Who is this big guy? Our Thor's?
Yeah. So they come, they find Thor, somebody has to go, he goes. But then we cut to Floki talking to, when we first meet, Askeladd.
Yeah.
And it tells him that they want him to murder Thor's, to assassinate him. Which honestly, did we ever find out why? It doesn't really ever touch on it, huh?
It doesn't ever really say, but I think it's probably just like...
Was this Floki or Swain?
I think it's more Floki.
Yeah, it never really touches on it again.
Because if you look at it from, let's say, from a king's perspective, and you look at, granted, I don't know what Floki's done, but we've seen what Thor's has done.
Yeah.
Would you rather have both, or in terms of like, you're going in war.
Yeah.
So you want the strongest you got. You want your top, cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was like a little bit more of a Floki, just, I don't know, he just doesn't like him.
I got something to bring up, but I'll bring it up in a little bit. So,
because we haven't even gotten, like, even after season 2, we really still don't know that much about Floki.
yeah.
So I wonder if, like, in the manga it expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe gives him a little backstory. I don't know, though. But Yeah, we get introduced to Askeladd and his crew, and they're just like a crew of
Pirates.
basically, pirates, mercenaries for hire.
Yeah.
And what was your first thought on Askeladd when you saw him?
I just thought he was gonna be like some throwaway character. I thought Thor was literally gonna take out this whole group.
Yeah.
Which he could have.
Yeah, but like the one moment that was like a little like, maybe he got a little more depth to him. Even
When they threw the spear?
Yeah, when they threw the spear, I was like,
And the guy was hiding back there?
Yeah. It's like, okay, he might be a little important. But yeah, that was
pretty cool.
It was a nice little second episode.
And then we'll probably speed run this because this is a fucking fast paced show.
Yeah.
So then we get to episode 3. Bro, I hate this episode. So we know Askeladd is hunting Thors. Thors gets like him and some of the villagers ready to go.
Yeah.
Which we find out that Thors was never gonna let these guys fight.
Yeah.
Right.
He was gonna take him to that island that Askeladd is at, and just leave him there.
Yeah.
Have Leaf take him back.
Yeah.
And then he was gonna go get some from another, I think he said another king.
Yeah.
From like one of his friends or whatever. Yeah. And then he was gonna take those to war, but
they stop at this island where they were just gonna eat and stuff and chill for the night. Where Askeladd's crew is.
Yeah. They prepared, so
then they fight Askeladd. Thor literally takes out his entire crew.
Yeah.
No weapon.
Just straight hands, baby.
And that's why I was like, this guy's sick. Oh, and also I forgot to mention Thorfinn snuck on the boat.
Yeah. I hated the way Thorfinn was acting. Because I understand you care, but like
it's what it leads to.
I wanted to punch him in the face, bro. But yeah, it's he wanted to be, I guess, he wants to be a warrior, wants to be a fighter, and because even when Leif told him that his ancestors ran away from war in one country to escape to Iceland, and he's like, no, we would never do that. It's like,
I hate Thorfinn, bro. I hated Thorfinn at the beginning.
At this point, the hate for Thorfinn is
I think I hated Thorfinn this whole season, actually.
Thorfinn started to go plummet this season, bro.
But yeah, and of course, and then Thors and Askeladd have a duel.
Yeah.
Where it's pretty cool because it shows like Askeladd is pretty strong.
Yeah.
But Thors is just Thors.
Yeah.
So he could have like won this. And then that fucking Bjorn captures Thorfinn. Makes Thor throw his sword and then a bunch of arrows.
Yeah, and then just the arrows rain down because... So, technically, it is kind of Thorfinn's fault that Thor's died.
But they could have done that anytime. And they probably would have done that at any time.
Yeah, they probably would have shot the arrows like either way.
Yeah.
But just the fact that Thorfinn was there.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, bro.
But also, then again, maybe he has a sword. They don't shoot the arrows because they're like, he might kill Askeladd before the arrows hit.
True.
So, yeah. But
yeah, he gets sprayed up with arrows.
The end of Thors.
He died standing. Never took a knee.
Standing.
Never see that man on a knee.
But yeah, so that was 3 and 4 actually.
And it kind of gives you like the sense of like a little bit of a dislike towards Askeladd because you're like, all right, this dude's a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck this guy. You know? He's already starting to fall in love with Thor's a little bit.
Dude, you know what? I'm starting to, when did I really start liking Askeladd?
I
guess we'll
bro.
get there. We'll get there.
This is the thing about the season, bro.
So now we go to, so then after do with Askeladd, Thor's, because he won, he made a deal like, yo, let my men go. Just take me. They kill him.
Yeah.
Let the men go. And then Thorfinn stays on the boat to go with Askeladd's crew because he's angry. He wants revenge.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of I hate.
It never really, did they ever say like if he snuck on to their boat or he just stayed on?
Yeah, he snuck on.
He snuck on the boat?
Snuck on, yeah. Because I remember Leif and them were like confused as to what happened. Like why Thorfinn isn't with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Thorfinn's with Askeladd and then they get to England, they start pillaging. Thorfinn is like watching all this. He's like trying to survive. They keep beating his ass.
Yeah. He's just over there like, he's trying to hunt just,
yeah.
sustenance over there, rabbits.
And then they have the first Askeladd Thorfinn duel. First of a few we'll get.
Because even before that, like, he does, when Askeladd is sleeping, he does have the sword, and he's about to kill him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, because he wants to do it in an honorable way.
Like his dad would have.
Yeah.
Which, sort of respect, but just kill him if you're that angry.
Nah, boy, if he would have killed Askeladd, I would have.
He wouldn't have killed him. Askeladd was awake. He wasn't killing him.
I know, but like, if he would have swung out, oh no.
I mean, maybe. I guess so. But yeah, so this is the beginning of the I Hate Thorfinn arc.
Yeah.
So the duel gets his ass beat and says he won't duel him again. Askeladd tells Thorfinn he's not going to duel him again until Thorfinn proves himself on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Which is, I'll get to like, there's a part over here that's really cool. So then episode 6.
So where's this? They're up in Gainsborough.
Askeladd strikes a deal with Danish forces to join their campaign to conquer England for money and spoils. Fire and volley sparrows into their camp, killing a number of men before they retaliate. Thorfinn trusts. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. This is when Thorfinn first kills the guy.
Yeah.
This one Thorfinn gets his first kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Battle of Gainsborough. Just regular Viking stuff. But this is where Thorfinn gets his first kill. And doesn't the guy fall on top of him?
Yeah.
And Thorfinn's like stuck under there for a little bit?
Yeah. And then, and Askeladd comes behind.
Oh, that's
him.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And stabs Thorfinn a little bit.
Yeah. He's like, sorry. I thought you were dead.
Dude, when did I start liking Askeladd?
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I guess we'll figure it out as we go through this. Yeah.
You put me in a fucking...
we'll speedrun these a little bit. Cause
Genjutsu, bro.
For a while, it's just like battle after battle after battle. And Thorfinn's just like growing.
Yeah. I see.
So episode 7. The Danish king Sweyn withdraws his troops from England over the winter with the... Oh, is this when they...
I was... Cause
okay.
I guess after like a little bit of a time skip.
Yeah. We get a... I don't know how long this time skip is, actually. Does it say?
I know he was... I think he was 6 or 7 when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And then... I'm not exactly sure.
Because he's with Askeladd for like 11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like at year 11 right now. But yeah, it's a pretty good bit of a time skip. Now he's like a young man.
Yeah,
and,
so... Okay, I remember this episode now. So it went, the Danish are retreating for winter. And then Askeladd's like, yo, how do we make some money for the winter?
Yeah.
And then he found out like they're attacking like, it's in France, right? Yeah, this French like, what would it be called? Castle, I guess?
Something like that, I guess.
But anyways, so then they're like, oh, let's go loot that.
Yeah.
And they go offer to help like the guys that are attacking it.
Yeah.
And then Askeladd sends Thorfinn in. He's like, yo, give me the head of a general, I'll do you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's a big ask.
Yeah.
And Askeladd goes, and Thorfinn goes and does it.
Yeah, he climbs like the little wall with his daggers. Gets up there.
Oh, there's also the episode, remember when they carry the boat?
Yeah.
All of Askeladd's crew carried the boat.
Yeah, they carried the boat
all the way to the bay.
Across the river onto that, was it like a lake?
Yeah, it was like a lake, I think, yeah.
Yeah, to attack from basically the flank.
Sea. Yeah, so they can flank around. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, so, this is a quick episode. They end up stealing all the treasure.
Yeah.
Because like they flank around before the French troop can break through.
Yeah.
They like kill everybody, plunder everything, and leave.
Yeah. And by the way, like we both watched this season in the English dub.
Oh yeah.
Which I think we both believe that it's probably like a little bit better than the English or the Japanese.
Just because the voice fits like the Vikings better.
Yeah, it's like we in England.
Yeah.
We in Dane, so let's maybe speak English, I guess. But no, it was cool. I liked this episode.
Yeah, it was a fun little episode.
I even liked when Askeladd was like, when they asked him like, hey, what are we gonna do now during the winter?
Yeah.
He was like, we'll just migrate.
Yeah.
Let's go where the food is. I was like, oh, yeah. Boy. Let's see.
Yeah, I like that episode. Episode 8, Beyond the Edge of the Sea. Okay, so this is the episode where they just go to Askeladd's uncle's village.
Mm-hmm.
Gorm. Yeah,
Gorm.
Gorm.
Yeah, Gorm.
And they were just chilling there. And then Thorfinn and Askeladd have their second duel. Where honestly, Thorfinn could have won this duel.
Yeah.
But Askeladd taunted him and made him angry, and then,
Which shows he knows how to control people.
How many anime characters crash out more than Thorfinn? He's got to be top 5 crash out, right?
For sure.
Sasuke crashes out when he sees Itachi all the time.
Sasuke crashes out. Gohan sometimes crashes out.
Gohan is a little bit of a crash out.
And he's a little bit arrogant. That's kind of what gets him a little caught up too. It's like, yeah, I'm beating that guy, boy.
He's like the most head on his shoulders till he's stronger.
Yeah.
And then he turns into Vegeta.
Yeah. Then his Saiyan pride comes out, bro.
I'm trying to think who else in it. Oh, Eren. Eren's a crazy crash out.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably another one in Attack on Titan.
Who we got over here?
Who's crashing out over here, big dog? Oh, Bakugo's a crash out. Show.
Bakugo is a crash out.
Is Asta a crash out? He yells a lot.
I've never seen Black Clover, actually.
I've seen a bit of it.
Some of my next one I'll probably watch at work.
You gonna watch it at work? Boy, you gonna be...
My ears gonna be ringing. Huh?
I just can't do the yelling.
Apparently it stops later on.
Yeah. Could you say Light is a crash out?
He crashed out one time.
But it was the worst crash out, bro.
But he was like a... But maybe he just wasn't a crash out because he was like winning most of the time.
But like if somebody gets like the up on him one time, he's like,
Sure. I throw him on there. Okay, so we got Sasuke, Thorfinn, Light, Bakugo. What else we have in there? Eren.
Maybe Thorcow. Loves war.
Yeah, but he's strong.
Reasonable crash outs.
But yeah.
Alright, so but in what was it, episode 8?
Yeah.
I like how the one scene I did like in this, I mean I liked a lot of scenes, but I liked where Gorm is, he's counting his money and he has a slave there, and then he gets mad because the slave, I think she like spills something.
Yeah. And
he starts whipping the slave. And Askeladd says, he just calls him almost basically just like a dumb old man. Like he bought her with gold. He's his slave, but he doesn't know he's a slave to the gold. He's like, I love where he says like...
That's what he says, everybody's a slave to something, right?
Yeah. Everybody's a slave to
I
something.
think this is when I started liking Askeladd.
Yeah, because like you get like little bits of it.
Yeah.
Like of his character.
Because I just like when he's like... Because he basically explains like Thorfinn's like his slave.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't even have to pay him.
Yeah. Like there's
like,
other ways to control people. Yeah.
Or pay for him. Yeah.
Or even just like get people to do what you want. I think that's what he says, something like that.
And then I like it because then it goes with like that slave girl goes and gives Thorfinn food on the boat. Because he's just sitting on the boat outside in the snow. And she's like, she says like basically she likes being a slave because it's like easier than like being out. And then she thought like Thorfinn was a slave. And Thorfinn's like, I'm not a slave. Right after Askeladd said all that, it's like, oh, you a slave.
Yeah, true.
So you're his slave just through like anger. Through pure anger.
He's a slave to anger.
Yeah.
Everybody's a slave to something.
You know what? This is when I started liking Askeladd now that I think about it.
Yeah, because like you already get like the heinous things that he does. Like he murders villages, women, children, everybody. So you've already accepted that is part of his character.
That's also like what everybody did back then.
Yeah. So you kind of just start getting little pieces of
like what else is in there?
Like the actual person that he is. No, it's fire.
And then we go to and the episode ends with they arrive at London. And they're trying to take the city. It goes to episode 9, the Battle of London Bridge. This is when we meet Thorkel. Dude, I really like Thorkel.
I like Thorkel. He's a fun character.
Yeah.
Because he's literally just the embodiment of a Viking. Just war, Valhalla. Just I want to fight, and he gets very angry if you try to
not fight.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we gonna fight.
Because it already started. So he has to duel with Thorfinn. Because Askeladd's like an asshole. He's like, give me Thorkel's head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And honestly, Thorfinn, held it down for a while.
No, he was banging with
Honestly,
him,
I thought he was gonna die because when Thorkel got a hold of him and slammed him around a little bit, I was like, oh, he dead.
Yeah.
But he managed to break out and escape. And then everybody's like, yeah, let's just retreat. Like, this is a waste of our time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take forever to break this.
Yeah.
And then I just remember they leave Prince Canute, which this is when we first meet him, sort of. And they just leave him with some soldiers at the end and they leave.
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. You just leave the prince out there.
Yeah.
On the front lines, basically. And yeah, we get introduced to King Swain a little bit, right? Is in this one?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But
so we kind of get little hints of them.
We still haven't seen his face at this point, though.
Yeah.
We don't see him till way later, right?
Yeah, we don't see his face till like almost towards the very end.
Until Prince Canute and Askeladd first go.
Yeah, because it's like the scene where Askeladd like looks up.
Yeah,
his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ragnarok, episode 10.
How's this one end? Prince Canute to maintain siege of Ragnar while the rest of the army heads to Wessex. Okay. Episode 10, Ragnarok. Ragnar's men become impatient with the siege, spurred by the taunts of Thorkel, but he keeps them in check. Askeladd's men also becoming bored from an activity, but after learning Thorkel has gone in pursuit of Swain's army.
Oh, okay.
So okay.
When he
is this when he tells Thorfinn that they're waiting for... Yes, this is when he tells them they're waiting for Ragnarok, or the Twilight. That's what he calls it, remember?
I think so.
When he goes and has to talk with Thorfinn, and he's like, it's almost the time of Twilight. Yeah. Dude, I need to go back and remember that speech, bro, because I don't remember what he said to Thorfinn, but it was fire.
Yeah.
I just remember it was fire. And then that's when the soldier comes by, and he's like, hey, I got important information. He was like, Prince Canute and them got like smoked. His army got smoked, and now Prince Canute's running and Thorkel's chasing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, this like cuts the guy off, his head off.
Yeah.
And he's like, if we take Prince Canute, we can go give him to the king for money.
Yeah, because it's like, because it's kind of, it kind of like, it's Askeladd's chance to like actually find somebody with power.
Yeah. Because his whole goal is like his whole goal, as we interpret so far, is like to impress the Danish like king, so that he can like move up.
To move up,
but he keeps saying it's for money. Like for his crew, it's for money.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part where he says like he's just they're trying to get noticed.
Yeah.
All right, then we go to a gamble. Thorkel's still like trying to catch Ragnar and Prince Canute when they're running. And then this one, Askeladd, like this one he starts that forest fire, remember?
Oh, yeah.
They start the fire so that it like creates chaos because Thorkel catches up to Prince Canute.
Yeah.
So then they create chaos and they snatch him away. And they dip out.
Yeah, they just set the whole thing on fire, bro.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And that's pretty much episode 11.
Yeah.
For a while now, it's just going to be a chase. Then 18, episode 12, The Land of Fire. So Askeladd's crew has Prince Canute. They're being all chased by Thorkel now.
Yeah. And it's like, Thorkel's like a big group. It's not like, because I don't know how many men Askeladd has at this point.
Yeah.
Do we know? Is it even 100?
I think it's like 75 or something like that.
I know Thorkel's like maybe a few
Thorkel's
hundred.
500.
Yeah. So it's a big group. They're just basically just booking it right now.
Yeah, they're being chased, and then this was like you start getting a hint that Askeladd like there's a little more that he's not letting people know because this is where he gives like remember he goes to like the fairy guy.
Yeah.
He's like, go tell so and so that Askeladd's son of what was his mother's name? Can't remember, but he said like the son of his mom's name. And then like he's like, don't know what to do. And then so that guy goes, and then they keep walking.
Yeah.
His crew's like when he first starts seeing like, yo, like they start not to trust him.
Yeah.
Because he just got them walking, they're tired.
Yeah.
But then eventually they make it to this place where like this general shows up from Welsh. He like takes them all on the ship and they go.
Yeah. Yeah, because right now, there's there's a little I wouldn't say mistrust, but they're like confidence in Askeladd is waning a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because they say like, oh, he's never had bad luck like this before. He's kind of taking L after L.
Yeah.
So they're worried for themselves, for their own.
They're starting to doubt because they're starting to think like maybe taking Prince Canute was like not the move.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, they right here says episode 13. Floki reports to the king that they defeated the English in Wessex.
Oh yeah.
But then they think like Thorkel took Canute. At this point, like the king doesn't know what's happening because Askeladd and the prince are in Wales.
Yeah.
So they're in Wales. They're trying to like get their thing through.
And this is where Askeladd, he reveals that he is part Welsh.
Yeah.
But at this point, I didn't know if he was just lying to get like, a little help.
And apparently he's like a descendant of like Arthur. Or
He's claiming to be a king or a descendant of King Artorius.
Artorius, yeah.
I'm gonna go Artorius. I don't like Arthur.
But yeah, that's what he's claiming. That's what we find out in this episode.
Yeah.
And by like revealing that, they let him go through Wales freely.
Yeah.
Now this episode, bro, 14. This one, like, you meet that girl who's like talking to she's like with her family.
Yeah.
And they're like Christian. They're talking about God and sinning and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like all worried, and she goes to this tree, and she hit a ring that she stole, and she's all worried like, oh, I'm going to hell because of this ring, because I stole this. And then that's when Askeladd and crew show up to this village. This is like one of the most brutal moments of this whole show.
Yeah.
Where like, so they show up to the village and they're like, yo, we need food. Like, we're taking all your food. And then the guy's like, hey, he's like, at least let us keep half of it. He's like, you let us keep half, we can make it. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, I've thought of something that'll help all of us. He's like, so we'll all be okay. He's like, none of us will starve.
Yeah.
And then you just hear his, like, the guy and his crew be like, okay, we built the hole. He's like, it can fit 72 people. And then they just slaughter everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just another little there's another notch in Askeladd's belt of heinous things that he does.
Dude, this might have been the most heinous thing he did. Because they were children.
Which, I mean...
I guess back then they didn't care. But
because I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, because they're in England.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think he wanted to do this, but it was like a must for his like ultimate goal.
Yeah, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
He'll kind of reveal it later on, but yeah, and then the girl survives because she was outside in the woods.
Golly, boy.
And she's okay. So we get to episode 15, where this is where Thorkel finds out like where Askeladd is.
Yeah.
And Askeladd and them were like trying to figure out like, yo, who told? Like, how do they know? Was it that girl?
I think so.
I think that's what insinuates at the end, right?
Yeah, I think because she was like running away.
Yeah.
I think she probably went and told like another village and somehow got to Thorkel.
Yeah.
And so now they get a scent on Askeladd and Canute.
Yeah. So then English troops find them. I remember this. They start fighting this English group, and this is when Prince Canute's guardian Ragnar is like, yo, we need. The whole time he's kind of been like questioning Askeladd, like, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And he kind of babies Prince Canute, who Prince Canute we haven't really spoke of, but up to this point, 'cause after this is kind of where he hits the change, kind of a little bitch.
Yeah. He's just like, because Ragnar is basically the embodiment of they call it the devouring mother. Very protective.
Yeah.
Very sheltering. He doesn't want him to, and he wants to protect him.
Yeah.
Which we kind of get a little backstory later on, like, he kind of treats him like his son almost.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which I like Ragnar.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He wasn't just a pinhead.
Yeah, he was doing good,
Yeah.
Just pinhead leg. But yeah, so they kill him.
Yeah.
They like trick him. They trick him to go out there to kill him, and then they blame it on the English.
That was sad too. I'm not gonna lie.
That was sad. But then Ragnar, as he's dying, he lets them know like, yo, looks like the king wants Prince Canute dead, so that there's not a power struggle. So then Askeladd, like his whole plan was like use Prince Canute to get the power. So he's now like, oh, so we're gonna have to figure something out here. But it was cool because even Ragnar in his dying moments was like only cared about the prince. He's like, that's fine. You gotta kill me. You gotta kill me.
Yeah, but we also kind of skipped over. It's like Askeladd wants to kill Ragnar because he is very protective.
Yeah, so he's hoping if he kills Ragnar, like Prince Canute will grow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Which is a hell of a way to go up.
Kill Ragnar here.
All right, so now Thorfinn's gonna be the guard for Canute.
Yeah. So now we get to episode 16. This is when Thorkel finally catches up to Askeladd's crew.
Yeah.
It is where like this is the episode where Askeladd's men are like, yo, it's like you made a lot of bad decisions along the way, we're done.
Yeah. Like they're just exhausted from walking there.
Yeah.
Again, you getting chased by Thorkel, bro. I want a mutiny too, bro.
But dude, the craziest part is they wanna like they turn to Thorkel and be like, we'll join you. Like,
yeah. That's the worst thing you can say
yeah,
to that
like,
man, bro.
Nah. Thorkel's like, nah.
Yeah, you can't take that man's pride and joy away from him by just surrendering, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, they cut down the bridge.
Yeah, they cut this bridge.
And which is like crazy because even they're asking like, this is not even that deep. Like,
Yeah.
like they just walk across this, bro. Why are we standing here cutting this thing now?
But it was yeah, this is where shit starts to pop off.
Yeah.
Then we get the 17th servant. Okay, so this when Askeladd, like, we get a backstory of him. Like, his mother was sick when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this one, like, he shows up with her on his shoulder and he's like, she needs help.
Yeah.
After he, like, took her.
Yeah, because she tells him about King Artorius, that legend.
Yeah.
The Welsh legend, I guess.
And then this one,
they call it Avalon. Is it Battle Wounds in Avalon?
That's Avalons were, like, Artorius. Like, it's according to, like, their myth. That's where he's at, recovering. That was...
And they're basically just, you know, they're waiting for him to, like, come back.
Yeah.
Save everybody.
It's like their own Jesus.
Yeah.
But this is where, like, his men full-on mutiny. And they start deciding, like, yo, we'll go have Prince Canute, give him to Thorkel so he can let us live.
Yeah.
And then Askeladd fights, like, most of his crew here.
Yeah, but he, like, tells him, like, he's always hated the Danes.
Yeah.
And he immediately just kills two
He
of them.
decapitates two of them, dude. That was crazy. That was, like, one of the coolest fights. Like, he just stood his ground. He's like, all right, let's bang then.
Yeah, I see. And then Bjorn takes off with the sled, Thorfinn, Canute, and the priest. I always forget about the priest.
Oh, I do forget about the priest. Yeah, there's like this drunk priest that's been with him this whole time.
Yeah. And yeah, he's basically just alcoholic.
Yeah.
Always suffering from withdrawals.
So Thorfinn and them were like trying to save Canute. Thorfinn and Bjorn are trying to save Canute.
Yeah, well, they're getting chased by some of Askeladd's crew.
Yeah, they're trying to take him to Thorkel.
Yeah.
But then, meanwhile, Askeladd's fighting his crew. Mm-hmm. Thorfinn turns around like, yo. He's like, Askeladd cannot die to anybody except me.
Yeah.
So he turns back because, like we said, Tier 1 crash out.
Mm-hmm.
So he's turning back. Bjorn's fighting like 3 of his crew.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of this fighting, Thorkel pops up because he's like, yo, I'm trying to fight.
Yeah.
And then, dude, is this when, no, not yet. Yeah. This is when, like, Thorkel is going to fight, remember that one guy? Remember there were 2 brothers?
Oh, yeah.
In Askeladd's crew?
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, he hands that guy the axe. He's like, we're going to fight.
Yeah.
And the guy just, like,
he breaks,
goes,
bro.
Can't say the R word, but
he breaks.
He lost his mind.
Yeah, dude, like, he literally needed help after that.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't normal after that, which is crazy.
He was clinically retarded.
Yeah.
Like, not the slur, just actually, like, he became retarded.
Yeah. Was that just, like, how scared he was, bro?
Dude, he was terrible. Dude, Thorkel's big, bro. But yeah, so that happens. And then, after this whole battle, because Thorkill's just wiping the entire, like, all of Askeladd's crew, because he's not,
Yeah.
like, he does not like that. He wanted to battle.
Oh, and Askeladd has already, like, been shot with, like...
Yeah, he got shot with arrows in the leg. Yeah. Because they were going to turn Askeladd in, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then Thorfinn
shows up to save
comes
Askeladd.
back, challenges Thorkel.
Yeah, and then we go to episode 18.
Out of the cradle. I didn't even know that's what that was called.
I don't know the episode name of any of them, honestly. Okay, but Thorfinn duels with Thorkel. And the deal is, like, if I win, me and Askeladd get to take Prince Canute and go.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he loses, they all die. Anyways, so this is when Prince Canute goes from, like, little bitch to kind of a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. He went from Weenie Hut Jr. to the actual bar. You know what I'm saying?
What was the name of that bar in SpongeBob?
I forgot. That's why I didn't say
The Salty Spittoon.
that one. The Salty Spittoon, bro. We tired. Like,
How'd you forget the Salty Spittoon?
I forgot about it, bro.
Don't you remember when SpongeBob went down there and found an ice cube?
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, so what was his whole epiphany about? Oh, it's because he was like, this is all pointless.
Yeah, because he was
He's like, so I'm going to create a world where we don't have to do this anymore.
I'm trying to think of the exact, like, because he has, like, all this suffering.
Yeah.
And while you just stand up there and just watch.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck that.
Meanwhile, the priest was, like, going off about, like, God and Jesus.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know what? He's like, they ain't coming.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm just going to make heaven over here.
Yeah. And then because he calms down, what's his face? Bjorn.
Oh, and this is when the priest tells him about love, remember?
Yeah.
Where he's like, nah, none of that's love. He's like, love is death, right? Or something like that?
I can't remember exactly. But it's a cool little speech, though.
Yeah.
I've forgotten about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that too, Tony, now. But yeah, so anyways, he has his epiphany. Thorfinn and them have a duel. Bro, this is when, like, the duel was pretty cool because it's just a dragged out duel because, like, Thorkel couldn't really catch Thorfinn, but Thorfinn couldn't get close enough to Thorkel to, like, hit a killing blow. So neither of them could really kill each other.
Yeah.
Like, Thorkel's too strong and Thorfinn's too fast.
Like, Thorfinn was like, he was cutting him up a little bit, but he had the chainmail and stuff under him.
Yeah.
So he wasn't, like, really hitting him.
And then it hits a turning point where, like, Thorkel throws a kick.
Yeah.
But Thorfinn, like, bounces off him, but dude, he got launched.
Yeah.
Like, he got launched way above the trees.
Yeah.
And then he fell down and hit some trees. And,
He got knocked out for a little bit.
yeah, and then go to episode 19.
So he has a broken arm.
Broken arm and ribs from the kick.
Okay.
Oh, and this is where Thorkel gives, like, Thor's background.
Oh, yeah. He gives, like, a little break. He's like, you doing good. You doing good.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little backstory. I'm tell you about your dad.
So it turns out, like, Thor's was, like, the commander of the Yams Vikings.
Yeah.
So he was the commander, and then he was, like, the strongest fighter. But then something happened. He faked his death, and then he went back to get his wife. And Thorkel found him as he was, like, trying to get his wife.
Yeah.
And that Thor said, like, I figured out, like, what a real warrior is.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not fighting anymore. I'm grabbing my wife. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And then he knocks out Thorkel. Because Thorkel was like, nah. He's like, you're not leaving.
Oh, you know what we kind of skipped over is on, I think it was like episode on 2 or 3, where he's talking to Ari about Ilva being born.
Oh, that's right.
And he was like, that's the first time that I was scared to die or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was like after he had a daughter, he, like, changed. Like, I don't want to die. Like,
yeah.
Which, to a Viking, like, death on the battlefield is, like, their thing.
Yeah, because even he said, like, if the rest of the Vikings knew that that was, like, his excuse for abandoning or, like, deserting,
Yeah.
they would just, like, laugh in his face, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes to show, like, the values that, because once you're, especially, I guess, once you're a Yams Viking, you're, like,
Yeah.
you're in that, and then plus the warrior culture itself,
Yeah.
you're, like, you die on that battlefield.
Yeah, that's all they were about. They were just dying on the battlefield.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we get a little background, and then Askeladd's, like, tells Thorfinn, like, yo, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you win this duel because your tier 1 crash out,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to control it.
Yeah.
So then he, like, gives him some advice. Thorfinn plays dead, like, turns around, stabs Thorkel, and then, like, takes his eye. And then Thorkell's men were like intervened, which Thorkell was not very happy about that. So Thorkell calls like Thorfinn wins the duel because they intervened, and then that's when Prince Canute shows up, and he's like, "Yo, everybody stop!" And he's like, "Join me. I'm gonna make a better country." And he tells Askeladd like, and then Askeladd confesses to him like, "Yo, I killed Ragnar." He's like, "You can kill me if you want," but Canute's like, "No." He's like, "You're gonna take Ragnar's place as your punishment."
Yeah.
And that's how that.
It kind of gives you like Canute kind of can be a king. Like he was
After this, yeah.
Like this shit definitely changed him.
Yeah. All right. So then we get episode 20, Crown. So they go to Gainsborough because Canute's gonna go see his dad, and then takes Askeladd with them and Thorfinn's still his protector at this point.
Yeah.
And then they go to King Sweyn, and this when we first see King Sweyn.
Yeah.
In the throne room.
Oh wait, this is also he also took like Thorkell as a
Yeah, he took Thorkell too.
to serve under him as well.
Yeah, this is general.
Basically, in King Sweyn eyes, he's like, what? He comes back with Thorkell. Oh my god.
Yeah. So then he shows up, talks to his dad, find out his dad's kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Really does want him dead.
He looks disgusting on that.
He does.
Like in the way they portray him in the anime, he looks disgusting.
And then he's trying to like set up Prince Canute, but then Askeladd like catches it.
Yeah.
And they play like some like mind games, and then Askeladd kind of gets like the win on that.
Yeah.
Because it sets it up to where like he can't really kill Prince Canute right now.
Yeah. And Sweyn recognizes that. He's like, all right, you got you a smart one, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't got you a little lightweight over there.
This
big body.
They call him dangerous, right? He's like, that Askeladd's like, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
He's like, he's not dumb. He's like, everybody I talk to dumb.
Everybody just swinging axes. This one, nah. This one got some IQ to him.
Yeah, but that was a cool episode.
Oh, and he sends, I kind of like this part, is so when Askeladd sends back Alti and his brother.
Oh, that's right. When he tells Alti, like, you're not meant for this.
Yeah, he's like, if you ever pick up a sword, whether for me or on the opposite side.
And he gave him that gold bracelet.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. All right, so anyways. We're on episode 21, Reunion.
We got King Sweyn.
Oh, okay. Is this when we get Askeladd's backstory? No, not yet.
This one is where they get the assassination.
Yeah. So they're going to another city because they're gonna hold like King Sweyn's gonna like gift everybody because at this point they've basically won the war.
Yeah.
They've taken over England.
Yeah.
So then as they're going through the city, they made a double of Prince Canute, and like he gets shot instantly with the arrow. Yeah. And then everybody thinks he's dead, but then they find out it's a double. Also, when they cut the thing open, and I just saw like some tickle bitties.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that.
I was like, well, okay.
But yeah, so.
Because they also do it to kind of set up like the rumor.
Yeah, Askeladd creates the rumor.
Yeah, that like, hey, King Sweyn is trying to kill one of his sons.
Yeah.
To give the power to what's his brother's name? Harold.
Harold. Yeah, Harold.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, so like Prince Canute, like obviously that's not him. They start the rumor because it's like if we spread the Askeladd's like way of thinking is if we spread the rumor, he can't kill him now because they'll know it. It'll make it seem like the rumors are true, which they are true.
Yeah.
But he does place it that way so the king can't do anything to him.
And this is where does Leaf show up here in this episode?
Yeah. So Thorfinn chases down the assassin.
Yeah.
And that's when Leaf, who we never said, but Leaf like dedicates his life like in honor of Thor's. Like he's gonna find Thorfinn and bring him back to Iceland.
Yeah.
And this is when he first runs into him. And Thorfinn does not give a fuck about anything. Because notice we haven't really talked about Thorfinn much recently. Yeah. Because all he does is like kill people and be angry.
Yeah, that's it. He just...
And try to duel Askeladd every chance he gets.
That's it, bro. Because there's literally like no character to him right now other than just run and gun. That's basically it right now.
And this is where we get to so Thorfinn, speaking of Thorfinn being a crash out, he sees Leif, he doesn't want him. He's like, I'm not going back. He asks him about Vinland. And Leif is like, yo, he's like, what are we talking about Vinland? He's like, what about Iceland and your mom and your sister?
Yeah.
But he does not care.
Yeah.
He's like driven by vengeance. But Leif does convince him to go to his boat for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let's go. And then Thorfinn's on the boat. And then Leif turns around, Thorfinn's gone.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and he goes challenge Askeladd to a duel.
Yeah. And this is also where we get Gunnar, the Ragnar's brother, that's like spying for the king.
Yeah.
So yeah, he feeds information to Gunnar, and then
Gunnar feeds it back to the king.
Yeah. And then this episode, there's kind of a lot that happened on this episode. And Thorfinn, he wants his other duel with Askeladd.
Yeah.
Because from being Thorkel.
Yeah.
So he wants Canute and Thorkel to be the witnesses. But my boy Bjorn, he says
he wants to duel Askeladd.
He wants to enter Valhalla.
Yeah, and Bjorn at this point is like, he got stabbed through the stomach when they were trying to, the whole crew did mutiny.
Yeah, when he's going crazy, he got stabbed.
Yeah.
Let's see. So
then he has to do with Askeladd, which of course he dies. He loses instantly.
Yeah.
But before that, they talk, and he's like, Bjorn says like, all I ever wanted was to be your friend.
Yeah.
Which, that shit was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then Askeladd was like, you were. He's like, you were my only friend.
Yeah.
And it was even sad when Askeladd like stabs him. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I wanted it to go through the heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah.
I cut that.
Yeah. I didn't know I was gonna feel that much for Bjorn.
I didn't either.
Because it was a combination of like feeling bad for Askeladd, but also Bjorn was just like.
Because he was just kind of like, I thought he just liked to fight. Yeah. But it turns out he just want to be friends with.
Yeah. So
Askeladd.
R.I.P. Bjorn. All right. So now we get to the backstory.
Oh, I love this. So, Thorfinn and Askeladd are gonna have their duel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thorfinn crashes out like always. And dude, this was like brutal, because what we didn't know, like what we know now with hindsight, is this is their last duel.
Yeah.
And Askeladd throws his sword and just beats the brakes off Thorfinn, because he's like angry and crashing out.
Do you think maybe it had like something to do with it, because you know how Thor didn't use a sword?
Yeah.
So maybe if it like hit him type of way.
I wonder if Askeladd kind of knew they might kill me here.
I mean, maybe.
Or when he met this king. Because so they have their duel. Thorfinn gets his ass beat. And then Canute stops it. And then we get Askeladd's backstory. Askeladd gives his backstory.
Yeah.
So he was the son of a slave woman, and then his dad was like the leader of the village.
Yeah.
And then one day his dad didn't care about them at all. So then one day his dad was like gonna kill his mom because his mom like lost her mind. And she was like frolicking through the village.
But she just like touched him. That's
and she like touched him, and he was like about to slice her.
Yeah.
And then he grabbed a sword. He was like a blacksmith, or he would help blacksmith.
Yeah.
And so he grabs the sword and he runs in front. And he like takes a couple shots and saves his mom.
Yeah.
And his dad is impressed, like, you got potential, and moves him into his house.
Yeah.
And he sets up this giant thing where he says for 3 years he was perfect. He was like 1 year. For 1 year he was like absolutely perfect, and then assassinated his dad, and blamed it on one of his brothers who like everybody knew hated him.
Yeah. The
When
one
his
he
brother
didn't
hated
get
his
along
dad.
with, and then ended up killing him. And basically just
And then he
blaming
took
it on
everybody's
him.
inheritance.
Yeah.
But dude, what a backstory, bro. Because it's like, from a young age, he was like, he hated the Danes.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm going to work my way up.
Yeah. Olaf was he was a sick man, bro.
And I like how he keeps telling like Thorfinn, like, dude, you haven't learned anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after Askeladd gives his backstory, and then he tells Prince Canute, because Prince Canute's like, why aren't you just the king?
Yeah.
And he's like, because you're more fit for it than I am.
Yeah.
Because Askeladd's just looking for like somebody to make the country better.
Mm-hmm.
Or the world, actually. Because he kind of like hates battle and everything.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of figure out here. But how'd you feel about Askeladd's backstory?
I liked it. It gave like a. It gave such a. Because you knew he was already a smart dude.
Yeah.
But it gives you like kind of like the beginning steps of how he learned to control people, or like, I guess, use people. You know what I'm saying? Because to have like that type of dedication, because he tells Thorfinn's like, I'm gonna teach you how to actually kill a man that you hate.
Yeah.
And it takes smarts. It doesn't take anger and lashing out, because he killed him when he was asleep.
Yeah.
Which Thorfinn could have done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the backstory.
Yeah. Also, yeah. It's like, and he's not like evil.
No,
he just
not,
like,
he
doesn't like the way the world works.
He's honestly the most probably human person in the fucking series.
Yeah. So then we get episode 23, Miscalculation. So Swain gets his council together to kind of like thank all the leaders, and then they offer Prince Canute like to take care over like the richest part of England, right?
Yeah.
To take care of that. So then Askeladd's like, yo, we won. He's like, we're taking care of like, he's like, we got like the richest place. They're not gonna kill Prince Canute for now. It's like we got time to like get everything together. 'Cause their whole plan is like kill King Swain, take the kingdom.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah, and Thorfinn's in jail. Because Thorfinn's crashing out.
Yeah, he just got picked up. I thought cause when they picked him up, there was like a little group of slaves getting walked. I thought he was gonna get taken in that one.
Yeah.
That's how I thought, like, but no, he just ends up in jail, and Leaf shows up.
Yeah, Leaf gets him out. Oh, this is when he takes him to his boat, and Thorfinn follows him.
Yeah.
But then Thorfinn leaves.
Yeah. See.
Oh, this one, I like this part of the anime when, because the king kind of have figured, I don't know how they figured it out, but they kind of figured out that Askeladd has some ties to Wells.
Yeah, it's
and then
because it was when the king was saying something about attacking Wells or keeping Wells occupied, that Floki noticed like it was a slight. What's up, Woody?
Cut this part out, this Woody. Or maybe we'll keep you in. Say hi, Woody. Say bye, Woody.
Sorry, y'all.
Is that Woody? But because Floki notices Askeladd kind of like tenses up when he says Wells. So he tells the king, obviously he's probably have some ties to Wells.
And this is also where Askeladd's like,
there's a weakness for
my
Wells.
luck always leaves me at the 11th hour. So he's like, which is kind of true. He's always like the most lucky till like the only moment he actually kind of needs the luck.
Yeah.
So yeah, they said they're gonna attack Wales.
So. Hey, Woody.
Valeria,
Sorry, what?
what are you doing?
I have to get my clothes. I'm soaking wet and I was waiting for y'all to get finished.
We got like 10 more minutes.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
You good.
All right.
Let's see.
So we get to the end.
Episode 24.
Oh my god, I hate this episode, bro, but I love it so much. So Askeladd gets put in front of the king. And the king is like, for your devotion, like, thank you for everything. And then he just whispers in his ear, he's like, I want to attack Wales if you give me Prince Canute's head.
Yeah.
So then...
But what he does also is like, he says the one thing that you can't say to this man, bro. He's like, my mother was a slave.
Yeah.
And the only thing Welsh are good for is just being slaves. And can't say that to this man, bro.
Not Askeladd, bro.
Alright, because King didn't know he was amongst one of the greatest. I don't know. what, antagonist?
Yeah.
Protagonist?
He's an antagonist.
Antagonist? Of all time, bro.
Yeah, so after hearing that, Askeladd's move, which like blew my mind, he was like, alright. He's like, I don't want to kill the prince. You can't attack Wells. And he's like, I'll use option 3. I'll just kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, because King Swain is known for like breaking peace treaties.
Yeah.
And he feels like Canute can be a good king and will hold up that peace treaty.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says.
So he like takes sword out. He says, Arturus, what?
Artorius.
Lucius
Artorius Costus. Oh my God.
Yes, that's it.
Is it Lucius Artorius?
Yeah, Lucius Artorius Costus. That's what it is. He says he's, as the son of Artorius, he's like, or as descendant of Artorius, he's the true king of Britannia.
Yeah.
And he's like, so therefore, he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then the king's like freaking out, like, yo. He's like, if you put it down, I'll forgive you.
Like, this is your last warning.
Yeah.
Like, who?
Dude,
what?
And I thought like Askeladd was like actually not gonna do it.
Yeah, dude.
And then he just takes his head off, man.
Yeah, bro. It was. That shit gave me goosebumps, bro. Cause, yeah, I didn't know.
That's not what I thought was about to happen.
I was for sure. Maybe he's like, maybe he gonna do something witty or something.
Yeah.
But I forgot this Askeladd.
This is the greatest character
he's
of all
already
time.
done heinous things. So what's a king to a god? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it blew my mind, just cause how nonchalant he almost did it too.
Yeah, and then he starts acting crazy,
Yeah.
just to make it look like he did it because he went crazy.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, he did it like intentionally, all planned out. Like, if I kill him, Prince Canute takes over and Wales is saved.
Yeah, and he gave it so Prince Canute can kill him.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, he killed the guy that killed the king.
Yeah. So, but before that, like everybody starts coming to Askeladd, and nobody can kill him. Like he's just taking everybody out. Which I mean, mainly because like, for some reason Floki didn't go for it.
Dude, Floki's
I don't like Floki. I don't think he's like that strong.
He's a puss, bro.
Yeah, but for some reason Floki never attacked. But anyways, but Askeladd's like taking out all the fodder. Thorkill wanted to go fight him, but then Prince Canute's like, nah. He's like, don't do it. So it's all part of his plan.
Yeah, because Thorkill wanted Swain.
And then when he finally told Thorkill, like, yo, go kill him, Thorkill's like, no. He's like, you made a mad dog and you put him down.
Yeah.
And then Prince Canute goes and kills him. Well, this whole time that this whole battle's going on, Thorfinn is like racing to the castle.
Yeah.
And then Thorfinn gets there right as Prince Canute stabs him.
Yeah.
And he has like his biggest crash out.
Yeah.
And then he goes at Canute and just like slashes him.
Yeah.
And Canute was like barely like moved in time and gets a scar on his cheek.
Yeah.
And then that's when Askeladd tells Thorfinn like, he's like, yo, what are you gonna do now? He's like, you never even thought that far, huh?
Yeah. He's like, what are you gonna do after I'm dead?
Yeah.
Like.
And then he hits him with he's like, you have what it takes to become a true warrior.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Askeladd's the GOAT. I think that's when I was like, yeah, this is the greatest character of my life.
Think about that shit, I got goosebumps.
Dude, that was incredible,
my gosh, bro.
Just, cause like he did always just kind of care for Thorfinn, bro.
Yeah.
No matter what he said.
Yeah, cause you honestly trying to help him throughout the whole. I mean, some parts he's definitely using them, but.
I mean, sending him to kill Thorkill was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it's kind of.
I wonder if he just had faith in him though. It's like that's right. It's like up to like how you want to decide.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that, but I could also see it as like, bro, I'm literally just using you to. I'm not.
Yeah, because he's probably like, because Thorfinn could have probably just said no, and he's like, well, okay.
And he's like, all right.
He's probably like, oh, that idiot went. He actually went.
Yeah, it's like he's just so blinded, and he's trying to. I could see it in one way. He's like sending him to do these crazy things.
Yeah. That
I'm pretty sure most men would be like, what? I can't do all this. But Thorfinn's like, all right, but just give me a duel after this. Like,
yeah.
Bro, it's obviously he's using you, but you're
so letting him use you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're literally choosing to let him use you.
But yeah.
And
so that's where this ends.
Yeah, the end of season 1.
Dude, what a anime, bro.
This is an amazing anime, bro. It's
one of my favorite. Yeah, this might be my favorite first season of anything.
yeah, dude.
I can't really think of. Season 1 of Naruto was good.
What would count as season 1? Just like before.
That's a good point. Naruto don't even really go by season
Yeah,
1.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Nah, this is the greatest first season of anything.
in terms of like seasonal anime like this, it's one of my favorites for sure, bro. Cause
You're looking over here. No, there's nothing.
Cause Full Metal is not seasonal. It went straight through. Attack on Titan, season 1 was cool. Like I liked it.
The Promised Neverland. They had a really good first season.
First season was
But it's
epic.
really tainted by how bad it gets.
Yeah, they hold it. Jujutsu Kaisen first season was cool, but there's no way it stacks up to this.
I think this better than Attack. I think Attack on Titan first season is the only one that you compare.
Oh, the phone.
Yeah, my phone died.
All right, it's cool.
Well,
But
we got through it.
yeah,
I'll put a little picture right here.
just in time. But yeah, great anime, beautiful anime.
One of my favorite seasons. Like I said, in a month or so, we'll do the rest.
Yeah, do season 2. We do kind of like the same thing, a little run through of it.
We'll do a quick one on that one because it's a lot less.
Yeah,
But and then we'll do that character tier list.
yeah, we'll do a little character tier list, maybe some our favorite moments from the series so far. Cause I'm reading that manga, boy. We'll finish that manga, bro.
We'll get to the end.
Yeah, we might do a whole manga recap, baby.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe.
All right,
See y'all next week.